Hey guys, what's up? This is a very special Thanksgiving edition of the show. Jess, are you on tour? What's your location right now?
I just got back from England. Luckily, the other day, because yesterday was apparently the worst airport day ever.
Yeah, yeah.
I
You
already
mean
hate the airport as it is, so that would have been intolerable.
you you mean there isn't a CKY private jet like the Rolling Stones jet with the
Nah, unfortunately, haven't gotten to that level yet.
oh, maybe someday, maybe someday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully.
So we're coming. Thanks for joining me right before Thanksgiving. Are you a big Thanksgiving person?
Any excuse to go eat my mom's cooking, I'm a fan.
Okay, okay. And are you like a everything, or is there something specific you like?
I go for it all, but yeah, I think we're doing like steak this year.
Oh, okay.
I think there's going to be some turkey, but some people aren't into turkey in the family, so I think we're going to do some steak too. I'll probably
Okay.
eat both.
All right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let's talk about CKY stuff. You guys have a new song out. It's been a while since you had a song. It's been over 5 years, or
Yeah,
no, 8 years, I guess it was.
something
So
like that.
yeah, what was that? What was the inciting incident that made you guys get back in the studio? I know there's been some shuffling around of members and stuff, but what got you back in the studio?
Honestly, we just started working on tunes like as soon as the COVID thing was over, and Chad came up to Pennsylvania armed with literally hundreds of songs. Like he wrote a song every day just to keep sane during the pandemic.
Right, right.
So it was almost overwhelming. I probably put drums on 2 dozen of the songs, but like I said, I'm not exaggerating. There's probably 200 songs to pick from, and they're all pretty rad.
Oh wow,
So
wow.
it's overwhelming.
That's a good album teaser. Is
Yeah.
there an album going to come out in the spring or the summer or what?
Honestly, right now we're just focused on releasing a song at a time because seems like that's all anyone has the attention span for these days.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it can be cool to do like it's almost like a magazine subscription. Once a month, you come out with a new song or something, like a new issue, I guess. It's kind of the
Yeah, I mean,
routine
I'm
now.
sure it'll materialize into a full length eventually, but yeah, I mean, we're, we're releasing it when we're happy with it, and that's not easy because we're our biggest critics.
Right, right. Well, we know that there's still a legion of CKY fans out there who
Mhm.
love the fact that you guys are making new stuff. What is Chad as a lead vocalist? How has that transition been?
He hated the idea of being stuck in a mic every night. But I mean, he's a good singer, and I think he's finally coming around to that. We're he's stuck singing for us.
Okay, okay. Well,
Yeah,
the reason I go ahead.
we've tried out. We had Daniel Davies singing for us for a while, and it seemed like people weren't digging it. Like Daniel's awesome, but I don't know. It seemed like people were having a rough time with it because it was just different.
Right. Well, having
Mhm.
a familiar face in front of the mic helps too with like the fan
Yeah,
acceptance thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
definitely.
Are you like a tinkering, fixing stuff kind of guy, or you nah?
When it's funny because we mentioned the pandemic, and that was the only time I had actual time to do projects like that. I'm usually so busy with studio sessions and touring that the thought of any of that is crazy. But yeah, that was the only time I could actually like have a garden and do things like that.
Right, right, right. Were you good? Did they plants, veggies, whatever it was? Did they come out?
I've reached the age where gardening is so much fun. If you would have said that to me like 15 years ago, I'd be like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
What do you have the straw hat like the gardening hat?
No, I didn't get
Oh,
that
okay.
nerdy yet, but I'm
Oh,
sure it's
okay.
coming.
Yeah, yeah. What's in the garden? What do you plant?
I was doing all the basics, the tomatoes and the peppers. Dude, you can't beat like a tomato sandwich in the summertime on toast with some mayo, salt and pepper.
Yeah. So just the tea sandwich, just the tea.
It's amazing,
Yeah. Okay.
basic and great.
My dad's from the kind of the South, and he was
Mhm.
big into sliced tomatoes with black pepper on top, and just eating like that.
Dude, that's a winner.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
add some toast, and then it's amazing.
And toasting, I hadn't thought about. Yeah, I guess tomato toast. Next thing you know,
Big
will be
time.
in Silver Lake. There'll be like a tomato toast place that's like
Yeah,
$7 for tomato toast.
yeah. There's just something about like you grew it. It isn't sprayed with a bunch of shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That goes a long way.
Right, right, right. I wanted to talk to you. I'm of the generation where we wanted to make CKY skate videos when I was a kid, and we tried and failed. And I remember at one point when I was out in LA after college, a girl I knew ended up with like one of your cameras or one of the early Jackass cameras or something, and there was like stickers on it, and it was like having like like some sort of like relic or something. Um, did you have a plan? That's my question. Was there ever a see? This is what we're going to do, like kind of like the way Wu Tang was like set up to have these like group, like things. What was the plan for CKY? Or was just doing whatever the hell you felt like?
It was a little bit of doing whatever the hell we wanted, but I mean, we were all big skaters, and every time a new skate video would come out, it was like a ritual. But our friends that weren't into skating were bored to tears, so we kind of thought like if we mixed in like skits and stuff, like because we're big fans of movies like Amazon Women on the Moon, Kentucky Fried Movie, stuff like that, just like skit based movies. We kind of tried to copy off that, and then it was successful because like our friends that could give a rat's ass about skating were like watching it on loop and they loved it. So it's like, maybe we're onto something here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And when did it go from like a fun, like thing with your friends to like, oh shit, we can make money, we can get famous off this?
Well, the first video came out, and as you do when you're teenagers, you get ripped off. We were like, oh, we should get our videos over to Europe. And the skate company at the time that did it were like, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And then we went to Iceland for CKY 2K, and all the skaters in Iceland knew who we were. So, so they did some European deal without even telling us and kept all the money. But then by the time CKY 2K came out, then it was like, oh, okay, we can like actually make a living doing this.
Once you kind of became known in the MTV sphere, was it fun or was it overwhelming?
I mean, it was just in hindsight, like a crazy storm of events that happened that we didn't really take in at the time. We were just going. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is happening. Cool. Like we're just rolling with every punch that came along and doing our best. But I mean, 20 years later, you look at that and you're like, it's crazy the cycle of things that happen for it to get to that level. Like, no one anticipated Spike Jones to come in and say, hey, I'm going to pitch a show to MTV, half CKY, half Big Brother video, make it one thing and call it, uh, originally it was going to be called Dumbass. And then it eventually morphed into Jackass. But at the time, Spike Jones, that guy walked into a meeting in any movie studio and they just hand him a blank check.
Yeah. Well, he was on a heater. Spike was on a heater. You know,
Yeah, I
it's-
mean, like being John Malkovich just came out around that era of when Jackass came out, and like
Adaptation was
all the
around there too.
yeah, I mean the Sabotage Beastie Boys like he was like riding super high off all that, and
And he was
but
from the skate world, and it's a perfect
definitely
marriage.
yeah, I mean we knew like Jeff Tremaine and Spike from we would go skating in Ocean City, Maryland when we were like little kids. And those guys were always hanging around. They're all from Rockville, Maryland. So yeah, they've always been a staple in the skate world. And it's been crazy to see dudes like, Jason Lee and Spike and all those guys go on to do like these huge movie projects. Um, but yeah, I mean, what a crazy time and pretty awesome to look back at and take in like that was crazy what happened.
Did you ever have
Lightning in a
any?
bottle shit.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Did you ever have any interest in doing acting, more acting type stuff, like taking yourself, or was it always just music and skating and having
Yeah, I
fun?
mean, like I was pretty heavy on the first season of Jackass. Um and then when people would come to shows and not even talk about the music, they'd be talking about like getting wrecked in a shopping cart. That's when I was like, I want to be known for playing drums. I don't really want to be known for that stuff. Like that stuff fun and it's a cool vehicle to exposure, but I'm a musician first, so
Yeah. Was there ever a time in it? Now, Jackass, the first season wasn't what Jackass became in the whole. But was there any? What did you have any like? What was the hairiest moment you in a Jackass situation where you were like, "Oh shit, we shouldn't be doing this"?
Um, there was a skit that we did. I can't even remember if it made the movie. I think it didn't because the test audiences were too freaked out. But my drum tech, Mark Hanna, at the time, had this like really creepy, shady work van, and we borrowed it for the day, and we got like these rubber crowbars, and we put Ryan Dunn in like a trash bag, and we got out in broad daylight and just beat him with these rubber crowbars with the fake blood and everything, and then just dumped him in a dumpster. And then Rick Cossack and all the filmer guys pretended to be spectators with like who would dump a body in a dumpster during lunch break in the middle of Westchester, like a town, it's so stupid. But and then we just went to a restaurant next door and started eating lunch as like cop cars were like, you know, skidding out searching for these murderers. And that could have ended really bad, you
Yeah.
know?
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That was like that was pushing it right up to the edge. Right up to
Yeah.
the edge.
Yeah. Especially these days, like, yeah, cops will shoot first and then say freeze.
Right. Well, and also there'd be like so many people with cell phone video and stuff now.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I feel like the Jackass skits and kind of the CKY videos, it wouldn't have been this it wouldn't have hit the same if it was in the era of cell phone video.
Yeah, we got away with a lot of stuff that you probably couldn't get away with now.
Yeah. And also just the ability to capture video footage. What there was, I remember coming out of film school how expensive just the most basic camera, the Sony cameras, and then like there was the
TV
Panasonic
TV
HDX.
tapes.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was like high 8 DV tapes. And then I want to say around CKY 3 we actually like got film cameras. And when you heard the film start rolling, you better get footage.
yeah. You can hear the money going out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, $50 a second or something.
Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was in film school. I did a short film on 16 millimeter. I loved it. I love the look of 16 millimeter film. It's so nice. And
Yeah.
for those
You
of you
can't beat
watching at
it.
home, if you look at like old 70s detective shows like Rockford Files and Columbo, they were filmed on 16 millimeter, and it looks
Yeah.
amazing.
when they take old film and then restore it with today's technology and make it HD, that looks so damn cool, you know? It's kind of like when they take 2-inch tape reels from the Beatles and stuff and then remaster it in Pro Tools HD, you know? Like it's just it hits different. It's so cool. The clashing of old analog with new digital tech.
It's crazy,
I
crazy.
try to record on 2-inch tape whenever I get a chance. It's getting harder and harder these days, but I mean, especially for drums, you cannot replicate that sound. Like, and I have this trick. It was like a happy accident. In the 90s, I recorded a song and I was really happy with my take, but I played it a little too fast. And I was like, all right, I'll go back in and recut it. And the engineer was like, wait, hold on a sec. And he slowed the tape down about 2%. And then the drum sounded like thunderous. And I was like, I'm going to do that every time now.
Wow,
Happy
wow.
accidents.
So do you have you recently been using 2-inch tape, or are you completely
Yeah, I
digital
did.
now?
Not too long ago, did a Viking Skull record on 2-inch because that's like British metal. I love that band. I I'm honored that they asked me to play on a couple of the records. And yeah, when they come to town, I have to find a 2-inch tape machine just to get that authentic British metal feel. Yeah.
Right, right, right. Do you still skate at all?
Yeah, but I'm super careful because if I get fucked up, a tour has to get canceled.
Right, because you land on your wrist wrong or something. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not getting any younger, man. It hurts a lot now when I fall.
Right. Well, how seriously did the skating part? How serious was it for you in terms of like, I know Jason Lee, for example, was like legit pro. How
hmm
close were you to like pro?
Um, it was pretty discouraging because when I would go skate, it would be with Kerry Getz and Mike Maldonado and Bam, and it's just I couldn't compete. And I'm a foot taller than Bam, so that again that hurts a lot more when I fall. So it's a further way down, man. So yeah, I mean I was always kind of more into music. Like I love skating, but I never kind of took it seriously in that like, oh, I'm gonna go pro one day or whatever, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was watching a documentary about Serena Williams, and she initially was playing tennis just to be Venus's hitting partner, and they had no intention that she was, and she like would go. She was actually a skate kid. She was into like no effects and stuff like that in the '90s, and
Yeah.
then it was like, oh crap, you're really good at tennis now. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Hey, I mean that's Pink, man. Like Pink, we know her as Alicia from Doylestown, and she would skate Love Park in Philly with us all the time. She gave me my first Fugazi tape,
wow,
so it was pretty crazy to see her enter the pop world,
yeah,
because I
yeah,
just know her as like punk hardcore chick Alicia from Downingtown or
yeah,
Doylestown.
yeah. Yeah. Did
Yeah.
you so did you know her well when you were younger, or you just kind of came across her
I
sometimes?
mean, she was just kind of a staple at Love Park. You know, it was always like Ricky Iola, Stevie Williams, me, Bam, Pink. And then you get like Matt Reason and there was just always like a crew like there every day pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. And she was a badass back then. She was like a
Yeah, I mean I want to say she introduced me to Bad Brains too. Fugazi, Bad Brains, she got me into all that stuff.
I got a Bad Brains tattoo on the back of my arm, but I'm not
No
gonna take
way.
my shirt off the show. But
Every once in a while, I'll run into HR just to stuff. I'm good friends with the Clutch guys, and I go down to Baltimore, DC here and there, and sometimes he's hanging out. And man, it's crazy just to be around like a punk legend like that.
yeah, yeah. Were you like friends with the Minor Threat guys at all, or do you know
No,
those
I didn't
guys?
really. I met a couple of the dudes just briefly, but never became friends with them. But I'm pretty tight with Chuck Treese and them, and that's That's how I've like gotten to hang out with HR a lot. I don't really know any of the other Bad Brains guys, honestly.
I'm a DC guy, so
Oh, really?
and specifically, I do you remember the Montgomery County Gazette, the Gazette newspaper? That
Yeah.
was my that was where I started my career. I was a music writer for the Gazette,
No
and
way.
I interviewed all the people who came through like Strathmore at the time was like a big deal. The Strathmore Hall there in
Yeah.
Bethesda, and
Yep.
so I yeah like Bethesda, Rockville, Gaithersburg. That was kind of my stomping ground for when
Yeah.
I was.
I'm stoked to see the Wrecker Theater in Towson just open. I love that place.
Oh really?
They
I haven't been there.
yeah, they shut down for a while and then just reopened like recently-ish, I want to say.
What were your favorite venues, kind of in that Mid-Atlantic, DC, Baltimore area when you were?
I mean, the 930 Club is legendary, you know. Um, I've seen so many awesome shit. I saw Primus there with Blink 182 opening in the 90s.
Wow, that's kind
Yeah,
of a
I've seen
weird
so many
combination of
shows.
bands.
I know. I saw System of a Down open for Clutch at Fletcher's in Fells Point,
Oh wow.
a 200 cap bar.
Yeah, yeah. You know, one thing I've recently I've been asking musicians what their ideal venue size is, and I've been
uh,
getting people seem to like 500 cap because you can still see the audience, but it's still big enough that there's a crowd. Do you have an ideal audience size?
I'm kind of right there with that. Yeah, 500 to 1,000 is perfect because you could just feel the energy. You know, like once you get above 1,500 or something, there's always a barricade and they're kind of far away and you're kind of more disconnected. But I've played these songs 9 million times, so the crowd has a lot to do with, you know, they can make it a song I played 2,000 times seem brand new again if they're that pumped, you know.
Right, right. Yeah, I totally. I saw Turnstile at a 7,000 at the Shrine here in LA, which is 7,000, and it just
Mm.
felt strange to have Turnstile way up here, and then
Yeah,
everyone else is like in a audience over here, you know.
yeah, yeah.
So
What a
it's
great band, though.
yeah,
My
yeah.
my kids introduced me to some of their music, and it's
Oh
really
yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Do you keep up with new music because of your kids, or are you kind of stuck in the 90s, 2000s, or?
I mean, it's funny because it's gotten to the point where I have kids in college and I take them to see Clutch and Mastodon and Graveyard and bands like that. And then they take me to, you know, Pierce the Veil, Ghost Inside, bands like that. So it's cool. Like I, my kids basically school me on new rock bands and new music.
Remember back in the 90s when, or 80, whatever, like when we were kids, you're a little bit older than me, but like that whole like rock, like metal, hard rock panic, you know, that like parents were freaked out by. And now the
Yeah,
idea, you know, you got a kid that you're taking to Mastodon, you know,
yeah,
shows and that they're into newer bands and stuff. It's funny how that happened. People don't realize like right around the turn of the 90s from the 80s to the right 89 90, that was like the metal, like that was the Tipper Gore shit, and that was like
yeah,
the you know NWA was freaking people out. You know, it was
yeah.
like, oh shit, they're coming for the white suburban kids. Oh no, and now it just seems kind of silly.
Yeah, I remember getting a lot of shit for listening to Public Enemy and stuff when I was in middle school. Um, yeah, like because Westchester's kind of like white yuppie-ish kind of kids, so that was like crazy to listen to Public Enemy or any of that, you know, any kind of rap like that
Well,
or
that's
whatever.
exactly that was the exactly the thing with people freaking out like
Mhm.
my son, we go to a nice school and he's listening to Public Enemy, he's listening to gangster rap, you know, that was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
what people would say.
I just had my daughter doing piano loops on a gangster rap album. I did some tracks with this dude OT the Real, and I was like, I'm either a horrible parent or good. I don't know yet.
I think you're cool. And I think, you know what's funny is I didn't watch it, but you remember there was that documentary about like rock and roll dads, like maybe 10 years
Mhm.
ago, I don't know if,
Mhm.
and I just
Yeah, I
think
remember
about
that.
how like that must be just like a weird situation to be like this, like and then you have to be like, oh, but yeah. Were your kids? When were they aware of your rock and roll prowess of the CKY legacy? When did they kind of become hip to that?
It's funny because it definitely took their friends telling them. Like my son honestly wasn't very into music. And then this new Tony Hawk remaster, because he's super into video games like every teenage kid right now. And all his friends like, yo, your dad's song in that is amazing, and then London's finally like, oh, okay, yeah. And then I had my daughter Ava play piano on a song I did with Anthony Green from Circus Survive, LS Dune. He's in more bands than me, I think. But you know, my daughter's friends like, you're literally playing on a song with Anthony Green, and she was like, is that good?
Yeah. Did you introduce your kids to music, or did they kind of find it on their own?
um, I definitely like tried to point them in the right direction. They were into like weird bands when they were little. Like they were super into Stereo Lab, some French pop
Interesting.
band.
That's kind of
Oh, we would
cool.
have we would have Stereo Lab dance parties. And I remember doing a company band record, and that was me with Neil from Clutch and Brad from Fu Manchu and Jim from Fireball Ministry. But I remember waking up kind of early, and we're having a Stereo Lab dance party. It's me and a 4-year-old girl and a 5-year-old girl, and Neil just comes in with his coffee, and we're just dancing to French pop. And he just goes like, without even missing a beat, he's like, so this is where the party is.
Yeah. 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 Exactly. Exactly. Um, were you ever like were you ever like a big party guy though? Were you ever like a lose control kind of guy?
um, as stereotypical as it is, like I moved to LA because you had to back then. Like if you're in the music business, it's either continue living in Philly and fly every other week or just live there. So I lived there for about a year and a half, 2 years, and I totally was going down the path to hell because there's always some party, there's always drugs, there's always booze. And I could feel myself like slipping away, like, oh my God, I'm becoming the rock stereotype. And literally, it took me finding out that I was having a kid to get me my shit together because I was like, oh my God, there's a little human that depends on me. I can't fuck up. So that made me straighten up and fly right, man.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
Um, how is are you close to BAM these days or
I mean, we've kind of gotten in uh, I mean, it's fine now, but it was bad for a while when I just couldn't watch him like kill himself anymore, and when it got really bad, like I couldn't tolerate it, and then we didn't talk for a long time. But he's finally doing good again, skating again, and I'm stoked to see it. Him not skating is like me not playing drums. He's a miserable cunt.
right, right. And
Yeah.
it keeps it's one of those keep you busy things too, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Keeps your
And
mind and
and
your
he
body.
needs that. I mean, he was a mess without he didn't realize that his drinking problem and whatever else was the reason that he wasn't skating anymore. Like he would say like, "Oh, I'm all banged up." It's like, "Well, look at him now." I mean, I'm seeing him on Instagram post videos of tricks he couldn't do in his prime.
Yeah. It's amazing
It's
what a little bit of
it's
focus can do.
definitely like and yeah, it's so good to see him skating again. Cause I mean he's a skater first, like, and a TV guy second. I mean, he was a skater first. And that never leaves your blood. Like you gotta do it.
And I'm not a skater myself. I actually have cerebral palsy, so I could never really do it. But I was one of those guys. I was the filmer guy. I was the guy
Yeah, yeah,
shooting music videos and all that kind of stuff.
right.
Um, but I I just like I feel like there's just like kinship with skaters that doesn't go away. You know, if you ever see
Definitely.
like some of your skate guys from like 20, 30 years ago, it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I mean, Steve Caballero and Tony Hawk are like almost my parents' age, and they're still out there skating every day.
yeah, 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 exactly,
You just
exactly.
got to be way more careful.
Right, right. I and I remember one thing I remember from all from Viva La Bam and from Jackass and stuff is the misery you put your mom through. Well,
Yeah,
Bam put your mom through.
yeah.
Um, how much of that was like for the cameras, and how much of it was like that's the way your mom really is?
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely like accelerated when the camera came on, but yeah, it's always kind of been like that. He didn't have to get into character very much.
Right, 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 right. Was the cameras and all the stuff? Was it ever like? Did you ever reach a point where you're like, no, I'm good. I'm tired of cameras around. I'm tired of all this stuff. Or did you like the attention?
I've never been big on that. Um, I kind of was like I was saying like involved in the early days of Jackass, but yeah, I mean when people would start referring to me as Jess Margera from Jackass and not CKY, that would kind of bother me a little bit.
Yeah, yeah,
So I
no, no,
kind of pulled away from it kind of early on.
yeah, gotcha.
I've never been big on that.
Yeah. And that's why the band's still around, I think. Like you guys could have fallen prey to like celebrity and then all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, remember Jess from,
Yeah,
2003 or whatever, so
that's the kiss of death. Just stay, in the limelight enough that people know you're still active, but don't let people get sick of you.
yeah, well, that's like the worst thing. The best thing and the worst thing about social media is you can't just fade away
Yeah,
quietly, or you can't like. I was just thinking. I'm seeing all these musicians, these bands that got big around COVID times, that they're losing
yeah,
their momentum, and now they are faced with this choice: do I quietly sort of fade away, or do I make a big deal out of? Okay, I'm going to make an announcement on Instagram that the band's no longer together. Because how many people were in bands when they were in high school and they end up being lawyers or whatever. And it's like thing, but now you kind of have to
right.
have this like this flow of content. Are
Yeah, I
you?
mean, you could do it tastefully. There's like clips in the studio of bands I'm a fan of that are interesting, but I don't want to watch them go shopping for shoes or what. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, there's bands that overdo it. Like, oh, we're going to our favorite pizza place. Like, I don't care.
Well, and then you got the slippery slope of like paid posts where you're going to the pizza place because the pizza place paid you to
Right.
go there and eat. So that's kind of a
Yeah,
weird
that's when it gets a little cringe.
thing. I mean,
But
I just can't imagine like a CKY Instagram from like 2001 where it's like, come with us to eat food at our favorite, and you like have like
yeah,
it's so wild to think about. So wild to think about.
yeah. I mean, like you said, we've had managers try to push that on us. Like, you gotta create content on TikTok or whatever. Like, I don't have TikTok. I don't care. But it's cool to post a little bit of recording or something, but very little. Like the mystery has to still be there. Like I thought Led Zeppelin was recording in a castle with like dragons around and shit. Like, and that's what's cool. Like I don't want to see that they did it, on Ventura Boulevard in between the Happy Harry's and Walgreens or whatever. Like I don't care.
Right, right. Yeah, I remember watching that documentary about the Chili Peppers making sugar sex magic in that big mansion, and they were banging on
Yeah,
pots and all that stuff. I was like, that's the way you make an album right there. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'll get you out of here on this. I'm gonna let you go here, but what have you been watching? What's like your pop culture thing? Like, are you a Netflix guy? Do you have a show you watch? Are you secretly into reality stuff? Like, what do you got going on when you're
So
watching
since I
TV?
got back from England, I've been I just binge watched The Chair Company.
Oh yeah.
It's like the weirdest show ever, but I love it.
Are you a big Tim Robinson? Do you like Tim Robinson stuff?
I've just recently become aware of his stuff, and I do like the awkwardness, the awkward comedy, like uncomfortableness, and he's like a master of
Right.
that.
Oh yeah, yeah. And it's funny that
Yeah.
he was on SNL and didn't no one really even notice, and he was off. You know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of
Yeah.
the best dudes were like unknown on SNL, like Christopher Guest and people like that.
Julie Louis Dreyfus was on there for a year or two, and
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever play? Did CKY ever play SNL?
No, we haven't. We've done like the late night shows, but never SNL. I'd love to.
Well, thank you so much, Jess, for talking to me. Happy
Absolutely. Thanks for
Thanksgiving.
having me. Have a good holiday.
Yeah, yeah. And do you have any idea what's the thing you want fans to be on the lookout for in terms of CKY stuff?
We're gonna be releasing new tunes in the coming months, so keep your eye out.